to look out for? In the course of trying to make this master plan to be implemented, you discover that there are agencies or there are commissions, ministries that are saddled with the responsibility of policy formulation. They have their responsibilities. Some are policy formulation, some are policy implementing bodies, but we don't seem to understand that clearly. So, in the course of my study, or the course of studying this particular phenomenon, I looked at it and I discovered that there are a lot of agencies that have pseudo kind of attitude towards implementing it.
And what could be the problem with that?
There's a problem with that because in any given organization, there are laws that are backing its establishment, and these laws are actually meant for it to do a specific thing. For example, the Ministry of Housing and Urban Development, or Ministry of Land, Survey and Town Plan, these are ministries that they are policy formulating bodies. They look up to the Housing Assembly to do that job. And then, it is also their responsibility to pass the master plan into law. Right? So you discover that these are working. Then you now have what you call JMDB, Just Metropolitan Development Board, for example. It's an implementing body. Yes. They will now get that document from it and they begin to implement it. What happens? You discover that, oh, it's my job. And because it has the issue of the issues of money here and there, the allocation should go to who? Right? You go to the Ministry of Environment. Oh, the Ministry of Environment is a policy-making body that controls what? Management of the environment. For instance, you get PEPSA. It's an implementing body of that agency. But we didn't have a synergy between them, within them. And a lot of things. All these things are bringing a lot of, because of you have interest, it's my jurisdiction, and so on and so forth. See some other people doing it. Can Ministry of Housing and Urban Development implement it? No. You don't have that legal right to do so. And that's what's bringing a lot of it. So the plethora of, planning agencies around tend to affect the master plan to be implemented because there are different components of the master plan. Master plan itself is a multidisciplinary thing. It is multifaceted and multidimensional. There's a need for synergy. There's need for collaboration and collaboration for us to be able to achieve the implementation of the master plan. It's not a single man's thing. It's not the one agency that's supposed to do so. The socio-political resistance, the enforcement agent actions by the Just Metropolitan Development Board frequently trigger public outcry, particularly when livelihoods are displaced without relocating activities or alternatives. There's no relocation alternatives. One of the reasons that I will be talking about basically in my theory, very, very critical, is the issue of inadequate manpower. I want to tell you emphatically clearly that in these jobs, the whole of Plateau State, we do not have up to 60 town planners, registered town planners. And any other person who is a town planner and is doing the work of a town planner is a quack. And as a result, we discover that in the course of it, I want to say with my voice slowly, that there are a lot of people who are working with us that are not yet certified. So if they are doing the work and something happens, who do you take to court? Likewise. So basically what's really happening is that if you look at the number of people that are operating, going by the 1992 Urban Regional Planning Law, it clearly stipulates that every local government needs 3 registered town planners. And so, if you look at the whole of Nigeria, the total number of town planners were not up to 10,000. And we have 774 local governments. If you divide this 10,000, we have less than 3 persons in a local government. But you see a lot of planners running around not being employed.
There's a lot of gap.
Yes, there's a lot of gap. And so, if you're not engaging the right person who has been taught over the years concerning this issue, the person who's doing the work is a quack. And anything that comes, we take it. Right? So basically, when you look at it generally, these 4 basic things are the things that actually affects the implementation of the master plan. Another thing that people don't want to talk about, I'm very grateful to my colleague who presented his inaugural lecture last week Tuesday. He talked about unmasking corruption or fraud. One thing that people don't want to talk about is that they want to call high level of corruption that takes place in the system. You have invested a lot of money to a particular state, why is it not implemented? Why are things not being implemented to the latter? If you have implemented the master plan in little, I want to assure you that it will have triggered some interest. Some revenue should have been generated for the state. But it has not been done. Let me stop there. I'm not talking about the corruption. Thank you, ma'am.
Now, there's a lot of challenges being faced in the execution of the Great Adjustment Plan. So let's look at, you've mentioned a lot of challenges.
Yeah.
So let's look at the solutions. What do you think should be done? I know you've talked of the issue of the legislation.
Yeah.
So let's look at other issues is where we could get solutions to all the challenges you mentioned.
Okay. Now, if I'm going to look at the matter critically, first and foremost, the master planning thing is a major project. And if it's a project, you have invested partly into it. Right? You need to recoup it. And as an economic man, as an economic government, as an economic people, if you invest, you want to live from it. You want to get proceeds from it. And so if we invest into the project of a master plan, we should be getting things. So funding should be made available. Funding should be made available. One of the major problems that we keep having is the fact that we depend on foreign aids, foreign grants, and the rest of them to get our resources. I want to tell you the experience that I had a few years back. There's a project that took place in Jos, and I'm part of it as well. The collection of data for revenue generation under the Ministry of Lands and Survey. That information was to be collected. It's a World Bank project under SIFTers. Now, knowing fully well we are not really doing well as a country, the World Bank came with the idea that let us look inward that we may be able to generate revenue for ourselves. So what happened? There's a tag of $2.5 million for every state that joined in that project to document, to collect data about property within the state. And once they are able to document up to 50%, they get it. I was part of that project. The state got it. We drove very, very hard and were able to push and got that grant for the state. But the World Bank has an understanding that we collect resources and we don't use them. They need each state to fund that project that you may be able to get it. As I said, you invest and you get. They invested money to it. When they invested, it's not even up to 1 billion. I believe that because I was the one who was paying the people who are working there. Right? So, what are we saying? We can generate the revenue ourselves. In that project, let me give you a hint. In that project, we discovered only 9% of the houses that we have been able to document, the properties we have been able to document, only 9% of them have a document to show that it's their own. We documented over 90-something thousand properties instead of 112. So we've hit more than 50%. So the state government got the money. Yeah, you know. Fine. Now it means you can fund your thing and get it. And with that data we have on ground, if you can be able to use that data alone, you generate revenue which you can invest into the master plan. But that data till this very moment has not been used. The government is not using it yet. So the government can generate its own revenue, fund the project, and then you will recoup from it. I want to assure you, it's doable. It's doable. Some people get to wonder, is it possible to do doable? Let me give you a typical example in Kaduna State. In Kaduna State, they now say, okay, everybody we have given you the go-ahead come and pay 10,000. Collect a CO4. That 97,000 property, 94 to 96,000 properties that we have enumerated, if they are going to pay 10,000, people will turn up. They'll turn up. In the following year, you can ask them to come and pay ground rent. As simple as that. As simple as that. Set up a mechanism. Another thing, the government can set up an agency that is saddled with the responsibility of, this is your document, this is the master plan, use it and implement it 100% for us. Agency, you have to generate revenue for us. And the agency will do it. You know, I told you, we have multiple agencies that are colliding and colluding with themselves to have a lot of problems implementing the master plan. So if you have a specific agency that will be saddled with the responsibility of implementing the master plan, give them powers, give them everything, they will do it to the latter.
Some people will say, you want to send us out of job.
No, not at all. Not at all. I give a typical example of what's happening in Abuja. We have NAGIS in Abuja, National Geographic Information System. NAGIS has to depend on the Ministry of Land Survey and Town Planning, Ministry of Urban Development, and others, and environment. Yes, to prepare the work, you don't give it for them very fast. She's done there. And you know what happened? The person who has been leading is a white man. It changed our minds.
If you are just been engrossed listening to Professor Samuel Benjamin Wabuaran. He is a professor of sustainable development, built environment planning from the Department of Urban and Environmental Planning, Faculty of Environmental Sciences, University of Jos. And we have been taking a very deep look at the Greater Jos Master Plan, challenges of implementing urban master plans, and of course the impact on the Jos city. And of course, Prof has proffered some solutions for us to get this right. We shall take a break, and when we return, we will also join us in this conversation, but not before he tells us what he has to know about his lecture tomorrow. I'm sure listening to him this morning, we would want to be part of that lecture tomorrow. We'll return in a moment. Stay with us. Welcome back to Good Morning Plateau. Hope you have listened so well and got one or two things to talk about, to ask the Prof this morning. In the studio is Professor Samuel Benjamin Wabuara, Professor of Sustainable Urban Built Environment Planning. He is from the Department of Urban and Environmental Planning from Faculty of Environmental Sciences, University of Jos, and we've talked a lot. I wish I could just keep you talking on and on and on, but that will go, I'm sure, by tomorrow. Let's hear what you have tomorrow. What's the lecture all about tomorrow, and how we get to that place?
The grace of God, tomorrow will be about taking my inaugural lecture. The inaugural lecture is an interesting part that has to do with the master plan that we have. And over the years, I've had cause to study why the master plans are not being effective to bring about the necessary change, the necessary morphology, the necessary setup. Usually if you implement, if you bring about infrastructure in a particular place, it triggers social, economic, political, and cultural activities that can generate revenue for you. But the master plan we have, instead of it to solve our problem, we discover our cities are becoming something else. Developments like nocturnal development, development like haphazard development, the sprawling of the city, you see self-help coming up, informal settlements arising from different locations, thereby distorting the original plan, original setting for it. So it is in the light of this that tomorrow the inaugural lecture is going to be an elusive ideal. The ripples of physical planning development and its management within the Jos metropolis as a result of the failed master plan. That's what. So that's what we'll be talking about tomorrow, basically.
Okay, and where would that be done?
University of Jos.
Okay.
Indo Theatre. I do Akwadoma Indo Theatre, Faculty of Arts, by 3. After your work, just come there, relax, and we'll talk. So you get more enlightened, more educated about the issue, and we'll know. By the time you get there, you know where you stay. Is your place a slum? Is your area a big man's area? Is it a slum? Can we locate your house easily? Do you have a CFO? Do you have RFO? What kind of document do you have to identify that it's your house? There are some people who own their house, by their lips.
And if something comes up, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
Because you have nothing to defend yourself.
That's it.
I'll tell you that 99% of people who attend that lecture will be guilty.
Yeah. It's okay. It's okay.
I know that after that lecture, everybody will rush out and get to the relevant ministry and of course get their papers. Okay, the phone has been buzzing, and I'm sure people are eager to ask you questions and perhaps make their contribution to the program this morning. So let's listen to what our listener has to say on the number 0812-588-6048, and we have someone on the line. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Mother in the farmer.
Good morning.
Good morning, the prof in the studio.
Morning, sir.
I'm going to go up recording from Tensen.
Okay.
Go ahead, Bozo.
Thank you, Mother in the farmer. The prof has spoken very well about the greater master plan.
Yeah.
And the importance of town planner cannot be overemphasized. And many people build their houses without the town planner. There should be a synergy between the town planner and the Ministry of Land and Survey and Town Planning. Not to resist the greater master plan because it is for the development of the state. There should be a greater fighting to bring back the greater master plan. But people need awareness and specialization for them to know the importance of the greater master plan. The activities of the greater master plan will not be in the physical government of the state. It should be extended to all the local government of the state. We should use the greater master plan to boost the internally generated revenue of the state. We are good in making policy for the productivity of the greater master plan to tackle the issue of land enforcement and land grabbing that is affecting us. There should be a synergy between the greater master plan and the metropolitan development of JMDB in terms of the development of the state. And many people in the region here cannot differentiate the work of a town planner, and we need to tackle the issue of town practices among the town planner. But my question to the prof is how affordable is the service of the town planner? I want you to clarify me on that. That is my one opinion on the India and the prof in the field. How to create the
Did you get his question?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. The prof will respond to you after we take some more calls. So you can join us on 0812-588-6048, and of course we're streaming live. Be part of this conversation right there. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, every president and the guest in the studio.
Good morning.
Amiga, I think I'm coming in from Angola.
Okay, Mr. Go ahead.
Relation of the state is concerned. LGD will continue increasing by population, but the meeting institutions we have are dying by day. You see, when you talk about town planning, where are the manpower? Where are the logistics? There are people starting with this responsibility. In as far as the availability and the functioning of these agencies are near it, you just think it's going to make it to be not supposed to be. The government consider the population and rising up to the first town planning, the city planning of 1970 or 1980 should be taken to this generation. Is that possible? When inequality has been made to this, it becomes a law. That is what we are saying. Let the institutions be working. Do you have any national plan or state plan that anybody will have to come and follow? If you abandon protest every year, all these things we are talking, we are following this, we are doing that. We have every one of our both financial and everything to do. This whole bank we have been calling about. If I'm not mistaken, 1973 or 74, all banks came to borrow money from Nigeria. So today, what are we saying? We should own our own system. We should design the system that works for me and you. In as far as accountability and transparency is not the product of the day. We simply will not have this letter by Easter. You can get somebody going into political office, overnight becoming a billionaire, and you see this people working the way they need to work. We need to get to that and find a lasting solution to our problem. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate you. I can see Prof taking down notes, so I'm sure he will talk about what you mentioned this morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much. My name is Isaac, the radio speaker calling from Justice.
Isaac, go ahead.
Yes, good morning, Prof.
Morning, sir.
Yes, Prof has spoken very well. And from his submission, Prof has shown us that he is on top of the situation and he is an authority on this line. Let me say this. You know the problem with us in Nigeria, it is rather unfortunate. We have very, very good policies, but the implementation is always the problem. Why are we finding it very difficult to implement these policies that we have fashioned out? I want to charge the government. Government should have the political will to implement the Greater Just Master Plan. In as much as it is important to the citizenry and the state at large. Again, Prof has alluded to the fact that there should be a synergy between, amongst the agencies, these implementable agencies that we have mentioned, the sector, the GMTB and the rest. Now, the question is, I want to put this question to the court. Now, in as much as we need to synergize, there are some overlapping functions among these agencies. How do we tackle these overlapping functions? That is my first question. And my second question goes like this. And there are land and surveyors, that is surveyors. What is the correlation between town planning and land and survey? Thank you very much. You have a nice day. God bless Nigeria. God bless Plateau.
Thank you, Isaac. I can see Prof smiling. You got a good point for him to respond to. Thank you so much, Isaac, for your input this morning. It's Good Morning Plateau. Call us at 0812-588-6048. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
This is Yoga Vijana of this in the house. Good morning, Christian and
Good morning, sir.
Okay, Chris, go ahead.
It's a good one to be God from God and the town plan and the experts. I think it's a good one. We need people like them. However, I want to put it this way that town planning is a discipline that needs attention. If there's anything we need on the Plateau, we need more of town planners. The unfortunate thing here is as others have actually alluded to, is the fact that there is no political will to ensure that we have a serene and beautiful environment. How do we get our environment intact? How do we get our environment to see to it that it correlates and actually goes with the slogan of Plateau State, which we say, home of peace and tourism. And if we want to have the beautification of the environment as far as Plateau State is concerned, we must involve town planners. How do we involve town planners? There are experts here and there. With the actual thing here is this political influence has always been one of the major problems. How do we impose the issue of influence to democratic issues? It's one area that we must look at it critically with finger. If we look at it from that angle, we will get it better. Those that are concerned, those that are supposed to do the work, let them do the work. Who are supposed to head and take control of farm planning section? Who are supposed to go into survey? Who are they? I think if we look at it in that direction, we will have a lot. No matter how, we need political influence or whatever, let there be coordination, let work together, let there be hard work. Someone so that those that are actually heading where and how should be able to go alongside with technocrats, and I think if we do that, we'll get it right. The other thing that I want to put across is the fact that it is capital intensive looking at the just master plan. No matter how, let there be some allocation either on daily basis. We start from one sector, we start from one area, and we move to the another. It is such that we must be able to look at it from the one that we may not take it holistically, person and others. And if we can look at it from the angle and from the top that, let it be that we take one sector, and we deal with one sector after some time, either 2 or 3 years, we move, and gradually we will be able to implement it. What is on paper is really critical of what is on paper. And we look at it from that angle, and we implement it to the latter, we will get it right. We need political, we need more of capital, and also we want to get it right. We want to generate actually some people will be offended. But despite the fact that they will be offended, once you have your paper, you will be compensated accordingly so that you have a beautiful environment. Thank you so much. I don't want to talk too much.
Thank you, Chris. You actually spoke like a town planner. Thank you, Chris, for your contribution in the program this morning. Let's take another call. Hello?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
We're good. Go ahead.
No, this is Samuel Chima calling from Abuja. Please, can you tell me what we're looking at this one?
Okay, someone we're talking about the Greater Jos Master Plan. We've looked at the challenges of implementing other master plans and, of course, the impact on Jos City. And since you're in Abuja, possibly we'll hear from you then.
It's not that I didn't get the introduction. I only got it a bit in the beach, rather.
Yes, challenges of implementing the Greater Jos Master Plan. And in the studio with us is a professor in town planning. He's a professor of sustainable urban built environment planning this morning, and he's talked a lot about challenges, and of course, he has also given solutions.
We are talking about business development in Jos City, right?
City, that could also be part of the conversation.
Okay, so one of the presidents of implementing such a plan is what I would call arrogance, or no, lawlessness rather, lawlessness on the part of the citizenry. So sometimes we tend to be opposed to law. Is that if I'm told to be able to relocate a particular children to my church, I think it's that my religion is at stake, my life is at stake, my business is also at stake. But that shouldn't count. If you want to develop a city, somebody must be heard. I mean, somebody must be heard. I mean, somebody must be hurt. The generality of the population of the area, whatever hurt in manner, inflicted on you, quote unquote. But sometimes, to say the truth, plan. Let us also accept such a plan. Sometimes what we just enjoy applause on the podium, but in the presentation, it is not so. I'm also to applaud the current governor of Plateau State. It's now, and even though he's not in my party now, that his personality applauding. Let's do whatever we do. Let's shift from civil servant state to commercial state. We can do it. It's achievable. We just need cooperation from all stakeholders. From government to business community, from all locals in the area. But we know, we can achieve such.
Okay.
To Lagos, they didn't do it overnight. We can do it gradually. One step at a time, one step at a point. In time, you can achieve it. Even though it is addressing my business location, I can relocate, I can adjust. But saying that the Plateau State is the name of civil service, nobody can succeed in such a state. Nobody can build to make in such a state. Let's commercialize our state. Let's push the commercial let's push the commercial activities in the state. And so we cannot even depend on the federal location. Our ICR can take care of our state. Thank you, my sister.
Thank you. We appreciate you, Chima, for calling all the way from Abuja. We thank you so much for your contribution. Now we can get Prof to respond to all that the questions and all the contributions by our listeners.
Thank you very much for the questions asked thus far. We appreciate you greatly. It means we are actually communicating with the wider world, with the calls coming from various places. It shows that we are actually linking up with other people. Thank you very much. Very quickly, let me try to touch on the questions, on the contributions. I want to thank all those who have contributed, and then all those who are asking questions. I want to just answer a few so that because of want of time, I'll try to summarize it. To start with, Gorzo from Pension, thank you very much for the contribution you've given thus far. We are drawing the attention of the government that it is not only the 6 local governments in Plateau State that meets the master plan, but I want to tell you that this government is doing well, fantastic, good. I want to assure you that as a way of trying to do this or try to implement or bring about planning in the states, currently the government has approved the master plan for 3 towns, one in Rion, the other in Lantam. Research over the years.